Hey, it's me, Unapologetically T, and it's Saturday, and I was in the shower. I was meditating, talking to myself like I do. I do that outside the shower, but I feel like you can't have a good conversation with yourself, then you shouldn't be talking to nobody. But while I was in the shower, and I noticed I say a lot in my videos, which it only bothers me because I was taught not to say but I'm gonna take it as I'm saying like OM. So that's where I'm gonna go with that. So my get on your nerves. They get on my nerves too a little bit, but we're gonna be okay. There it goes again. So moving along, I was in the shower and I was thinking about my growth, right? So I do a lot of self-reflections. I know a lot of us been taught, not to focus on the past and all that stuff. I would say not get stuck in the past is a good observation. And we do think about stories like Lot's wife. What was her name? And I learned about her when I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, and I learned the real story about Sodom and Gomorrah and all that stuff that was going on. So whatever the case may be, early as a child, I learned a clear message is not to look back. However, for me, looking back, I don't know if in the Bible they were talking about Lot's wife looking back as if, I don't know what they were talking about as far as her not looking back, because even if she missed the people in the town, like, goddamn, like I'm a slow down God, my bad, God, you know what's best, but all I can say is, dang, she can't even reflect or miss the things that, were good. So I'm a big reflector. It has gotten me thus far in this world. I'm going to always reflect. However, I don't have to get stuck in the past or dwell or ruminate over things in the past, but I can look back and see where I came, how far I've come, and all that stuff. So saying that, I just wanted to say that I got on the topic of like what really is my vice. And if you don't know what vices is, it's basically a fancy way of describing addiction or just not having self-control over your lifestyle. So for me, I've always pondered and wondered what my vices is, because I typically went through life like trying things, and I don't just mean drugs, but I definitely tried different things and stuff that usually typically get people addicted. By the grace of God, it wasn't my path, and I always wondered what is my vice? And I feel like this is a good question if you have not sat down with yourself and figured out what is your vice in life. So what is something in your life that you really, really, really like doing? And if you haven't already gained control over it, what is that? If you have already gained control over it, still, what is it? Because you should be aware of the things that kind of make you, I wouldn't even say tick, but the things that kind of can be unhealthy for you if you don't rein yourself in. And I am a big supporter of there is no perfect person, so we all have vices. Vices can look different for everybody. So you can have a shopping addiction, so you really like to go shopping, and maybe that shopping addiction caused some pain in your life where you were starting to go broke or you were getting into a lot of debt. So what did you do to kind of get the grips over it? And if you haven't figured it out, are you getting help for it or what? But gambling is a big one that's outside of drugs, because a lot of people ruin their lives and their families' lives over gambling. But yeah, it's not just drugs, and that's why I came to do this video, because while I was in the shower, I was realizing, like, my vice has been basically like love. I've been addicted to love, and so I love to chase love. And I also been addicted to helping other people. And although I am I was in the past a very selfless person, I don't just look at my selflessness as me just doing it for other people. However, that is a big part of my reason I help people, is because I knew how it felt not to receive the help or support that I should have gotten. And I typically, like helping other people just for that reason alone. However, I do get something out of it. I do get something out of helping others and make me feel better. So I can't just say that that's a whole completely selfless act. I feel like if I was to gain nothing from it at all, then I can say it was selfless, but I do gain some type of emotional fix from it, and that's why I say it is my bias, because I do really enjoy helping people, and I really, really enjoy helping people, and I'm letting me know, like, my help was effective. That's all the payment that I be needing, is you to be like, you really helped me out. So I guess being useful. So that's my drug, being useful to others. And I was thinking about that, like, so it's love and definitely helping people and giving myself away and not giving myself anything in return, and not even pouring back into my own cup. So I just was thinking about that, and it was like this epiphany moment. It was like, yeah, I had came kind of to this conclusion or newfound truth for myself. I had figured that out for myself basically when I had started getting therapy towards the end of my therapy years. Like, I had started to figure that out about myself. However, it clicked today. It clicked for me that, I'm aware that this is an issue, and I'm aware that I need to help me first before I help anybody else, period, point blank. That's not selfish. Well, that is selfish, and I think that selfish gets a bad rap, definitely in a country that is so far self-absorbed. If you don't care about yourself, good luck. So, yeah, I have this newfound love for myself, and I actually do not cringe when I think of myself as being selfish. I think that selfish needs not to get a bad rap, but there is a such thing as being self-absorbed, and I think that's kind of like where you can come into some troubles, when you're putting too much into you, and you're putting, I guess, like, this grandiose behavior. So I was just thinking about, that's my vices. I definitely have other vices. I would feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't say sex was, but I definitely enjoyed it. I'm just being honest. I hope that we're all adults following this channel, excuse me. I went old school, I said station. But yeah, like, I think I just had an unhealthy relationship with it more than it was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it was good for my life. Except for, like, when I was in relationships, though, I was faithful. So that's why I feel like I don't have a super bad problem with it. And I can practice celibacy. Like, I've been practicing celibacy throughout my life, even as a teenager. So, yeah, I wouldn't put sex in that category. I think that, like, I have a grip over that. One of the other things, I definitely had a cigarette addiction, which I definitely know that I was smoking cigarettes because of my anxiety. Like, I definitely have always struggled with anxiety since I was a little girl. I maker. I've gotten better at it. The nail biter, just sitting. Just a nervous wreck since I was a little girl. My mom used to even fuss at me and be like, cut that shaking out, like when I would shake my leg and stuff like that. I do look at that too as, I can reframe that as like I have a lot of energy, and when you do have a lot of energy, whether it's good or bad, nervous or what, I do find that physical activity is good for that. I have fallen off on the physical activity aspect of my life. As a child, a teenager, young adult, like I was very, very much active, but I felt like probably the last few years I have not been as active as I used to be. I mean, I still, like, I do walks and stuff like that. I have lost 10 pounds. I know you can't see it in my neck, but I have lost 10 pounds. And I'm proud of that. I hope I keep losing. But yeah, I do have an unhealthy relationship with food. And I say unhealthy because I'm kind of like, it could go either way. Like, I borderline can starve myself, and then I can borderline binge too much onto stuff. And I typically have a problem with sweets, so just being mindful of that for myself. But like, yeah, the biggest one for me though was my relationship with people, and how I handle my interactions with people. And I just thought I wanted to come and talk about my vices. Maybe you'll be comfortable talking about yours in the comments. I don't know. And even if you don't feel comfortable talking about it in the comments, and you just, watch this page, talk about it in, to yourself, in your own head. Like, what drives you sometimes to get distracted, or like, because I definitely know, like, all the vices I have is a form of escapism also. Like, I don't have to deal with my own shit. I can, focus my attention somewhere else, or on something else that makes me feel good. So, yeah, I've just been mindful of that. I also was able to see that over this last 9 months, I have learned how to say no. Like, no used to be something that I didn't like doing. If I did say no, it was because it was just like, at that point I'm angry or I'm burnt out and tired. But I never could just say no because it's a no. Like, when people or family would ask me to do things, if I had the free time, even if I ain't had the free time sometimes, even if I ain't had the money sometimes, like, it's been plenty of times that I help people and I ain't had shit. And but I always saw it as like, you help others, it come back to you, and it does. But I do warrant people who have personality type like mine to be strategic in that. Like, don't do that all the time. Like, yeah, if you feel strongly called to do it, but don't just keep doing that. That's borderline irresponsible. You gotta look out for yourself first. But I do say God protected our babies and foods, because he was definitely protecting me during those times where I was looking out for others before I looked out for myself. But yeah, like, I had a hard time saying no. Like, I used to even, if I was to say no, let's just say I ain't feel like it, instead of saying no and just leaving the no as a no, I would feel obligated to tell these stories about why I couldn't do it. And like, I lie and be like, oh, well, da 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 da. And it was like, this last 9 months, I was like, no. No, I can't do it. And I wasn't even hard no like that. I wasn't even hard no. It was just like a regular, like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm barely taking care of me and my child, or I'm barely looking after me and my child. And then sometimes it just was a no. Like, sometimes no doesn't need a follow-up. So yeah, people pleasing definitely was an addictive piece for me too. I think it goes all into that helping and the chasing love, I definitely chased love because I never really felt quite love, and I didn't really know what love was supposed to feel like. I thought it was supposed to be chaotic, but I definitely know that's not so. There are healthy relationships. That does not mean that love does not come without conflict. It just simply means that it ain't a whole bunch of bullshit. So there will be misunderstanding and problem, I feel like, in any freaking relationship you have, whether it's a friendship, a business partner, co-worker, a romantic partner, like family members. It's gonna be an issue every once in a while. However, there should be healthy ways to deal with conflict resolution, and stuff like that. So I'm definitely growing and learning, and just wanted to share my little epiphany with y'all, and maybe get y'all to thinking, if y'all haven't already, about how far you've come and what's your vices, and do you have them under control. For me, I feel like you would never cut out all your vices. However, you definitely do need to cut out the ones that are destroying your life. But if you can have a vice that you can manage and control, I say people should mind their business and you should do you. It's your life, and God will judge you at the end of everything. So yeah, that's what I have for this segment. I do have a long road ahead of me, so I might do another video. But thank y'all for tuning in. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos with other people.